I woke up this morning, my alarm was going off and I could see a hand going to turn it off, but I couldn't feel that hand. It was my hand and I fumbled at my alarm clock, knocking my phone off the side, knocking everything off for a good like 5 minutes. Laura was getting pissed and I'm like, but I can't feel my hand. I need to stop lying on my hands. Like, it's really bad. Also, something that's been plaguing me for a while is a pain in my leg. It's like quite bad, and I don't know whether or not it's from cycling the other week. Basically yesterday I had this pain in the top of my leg, and I don't know whether it's a muscle strain or something similar to what Laura had, and it's freaking me the fuck out, man. I just don't know what to do with myself. It's really stressing me out because I don't think it can possibly be a muscle strain because I haven't done anything since cycling on Friday, and why would it just randomly crop up Tuesday? But also the odds of it being something else are so small that if it is that thing, it's terrifying. It's also very similar to Laura's in the sense that it goes away when I do stuff, which you wouldn't expect from a muscle strain, but like if I sit still for a while, that's when it starts to ache. And I'm really conscious of it, goddamn. Otherwise though, today has been a jolly good fun day at work. We managed to check in a load of stuff. We're doing pull requests, getting things merged. Like, we're getting to the end of the, well no, we're about a week off the sprint actually, but like with the 3 main stories we want to deliver are getting delivered, and then we're starting the big story, which is like bigger than a sprint story, so we're trying to like start it early. But yeah, so he is working on that, and it's literally just like churning it out, and I'm getting deployments done, and then people are picking up faults in it. The footer of the email was wrong because I had the wrong text in it, and I had to change that, which is really annoying because part of the story was to make it driven from CMS system, but we had to drop that because of complications. Now they want a load of changes, so if only we had it in the first place, eh? Otherwise though, Laura is off again. We've had dinner, she's off to go play some netball. We've decided we're going to get the bikes tomorrow because we just don't have time today. So that gives me about an hour and a half before she gets back to do other things, i.e. programming and editing a video. Also, I've basically decided that I prefer my other glasses to these glasses, but these are pretty comfortable to wear at home because I can just take them off really easily. Therefore I wear them, even though I've got my own glasses, my work glasses here, because my pedestal at work's broken, so I have to bring everything home with me. Like, I've got my laptop, I've got my glasses and all that kind of stuff. The only thing I've left at work is my notepad and pen, because I'm not carrying that around, and I don't care if it disappears, and a box of fudge, which is probably a good idea if that goes, so I don't snack on it all the time. Bloody hell, the traffic this morning was atrocious. Wait for this nice Volkswagen to park next to me, and then I'm going to go to the bus and bust in for a wee. Literally drove the same way as I did yesterday, left at the same time as I did yesterday, and got here literally, well, 15 to 20 minutes later than I did yesterday. Not been my day today again, ladies and gentlemen, and it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to stop until at least 10 o'clock tonight. I am currently walking down to the bike shop to go pick up my bike, then walk it back, well, cycle it back, and then walk back down again and pick up Laura's bike. Laura hasn't left work yet, which is why we're doing it like this, basically, because otherwise we're not going to have enough time. We've got to go and vote in the Metro Mayor elections. Got to cook some dinner, and Laura's got to pack her bags and stuff because she's going back to Nottingham tomorrow, so it's go, go, go. This week has literally been essentially a week where Laura's really busy, and therefore I'm busy because I'm doing stuff for her. Point where I cancel the thing I was going to do today because we would not have time, basically. Oh, god damn it. Otherwise, today's not been my day. It's the Thursday slump. But this time, like at work, like my brain has just not been on it today, and things have just been taking me too long, and I keep making silly mistakes. I was doing configuration setup and deployments and stuff today. Yeah, otherwise it's just been minor bug fixes and stuff. Not really bugs, it's a case of like they changed their mind what text they wanted on the footer of emails, and I've been doing emails recently. So yeah, just kind of odd stuff lying around. But basically I haven't been feeling productive. I just need a chill out. I need an early night tonight, which is a problem because it's fucking question time night and it's election season, so I need to watch it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what's going on. Laura's just rung, she's left. We're still probably going to go with my plan. I should have done this yesterday, but I let her talk me out of it. I don't know why either. Yeah, so it's not been great. If we time this right, it might actually make sense for me to longboard down the next way and then Laura can pick it up in the car. And then she can either ride her bike home or she can basically just take my longboard off me, you know? Time is a very limited resource this week. So I've got to quickly buy a couple of these because this is the only shop that buys them. It isn't technically true. There is a Chinese supermarket over the behind Halfords that sells it a lot cheaper as well, but they sell it in a much bigger bottle which we can't use. We literally use like 2 teaspoons out of it, or maybe at most 4 teaspoons we use before it's like gone off, and that's in the smaller one, so you may as well do that. Managed to fit it all in, boys. Not bad at all. We got the bikes back. Laura ended up, I longboarded down and then Laura picked me up. Well, no, picked the longboard up and then I cycled her bike back. It's like, I forget like how much taller I am than Laura sometimes. Because like I'm riding a bike which is just like a smaller frame than mine. Mine's like the largest frame they did. Laura's is a smaller one. It's like the medium one for girls. And like the seat's lower, the handlebars are lower, and as I'm cycling it like, when you stand up, I have to stand up because the seat's like, I'm up to my ears and my knees. But I'm cycling it, I'm like, not cycling down, I'm cycling like a prawn, like backwards. So I'm like constantly pushing, and that's like I'm swimming or something. Pretty much hard work. We then came back, we had some dinner very quickly, had about half an hour chill out before we then went to go and vote in the mayor elections. Then Laura's been packing her suitcase and stuff. She went to bed just before question time started. And I watched question time, which was actually fucking brilliant as per usual. It was really good this week. Question time always is good when they're running up to elections and stuff, because they actually, like, the big boys come out onto to do the like show and stuff rather than like some random local MP from the area. A blooming lovely day, ladies and gentlemen. You know, in this big ugly truck you got a nice blue sky, you can see the steam coming off the spa. Bit of a down day relative to my normal performance. I just wasn't very zippy, I wasn't very like on it. So today I'm trying to pick that up. It's my Thursday slump. I always have a bit of a slump on a Thursday, but yesterday it extended to like actually at work rather than just being at home. Otherwise, though, we're prepping for a very busy weekend. We've got a lot to do this weekend. Well, I've got one big thing to do tomorrow, I guess. Otherwise, I said goodbye to Laura. Laura's gone to Nottingham. She'll be leaving today, about half day. It's just gonna be us. It's just gonna be us, guys. Which usually means long vlogs. So be careful to end the video at a suitable time. Although I will be like in a conference all day tomorrow, so it shouldn't be too bad. I cooked dinner tonight, obviously, for myself, and it's pie and chips, which really annoys me because that's such a great combination. But the problem is that pie you cook low and slow, and chips you cook hot and fast. So I've got the chips 20 minutes at 240 degrees, and the pie is 160 degrees for 30 minutes. So I've got to basically put the chips in at 160 for 40 minutes to counteract it. It's fucking irritating. And they won't be crispy either, they'll just be like cooked. God damn it. Yeah, otherwise today we had a great turn. We were, well, partially setting up, I didn't really do much setting up of actual work stuff. It was more like going through pull requests, and it's coming up to the end of the sprint, so we're getting things in and merged and all that kind of malarkey, and that's really good fun. I do enjoy that kind of stuff. I was a bit of a goalkeeper a couple of times, so I was like, whoa, let's stop that one going in. Add that in there, boy, come on. But otherwise, it's just little old me. Little old me, I'm back home. I'm on my own. What's that? I thought that was something to do with a loan, but I was thinking of bold and inch. I don't know. Fuck knows. It's just me and Graham, wherever Graham is, holding the fort down. Dinner done. It's 8 o'clock and it's time to do some work. Let's make the most of it. I don't particularly fancy staying up ridiculously late tonight, for the basic reason that I've got to be up early tomorrow morning. I am fucking pooped, man. I don't know why I'm so tired this week. So yeah. This is the best thing about Laura not being here, is that I can work guilt-free. Problem is that I just like kind of want someone to talk to, you know. What are you doing, Graham? A feeling when you're like, you know what, I'm gonna put my pajamas on, I'm gonna get comfy, and then I'm gonna do some programming. And you're like, oh, just watch this video while I'm getting ready, while I put my pajama jams on, Well, I'll just play a game of Hearthstone, and then it's an hour and a half later. For tea, and then I'm actually going to do something. Then I let myself get distracted by Doom until it bloody crashed on me. I'm going to call it here for a night, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus. Well rested, and I'm glad that I had a early night last night. Relatively early night. It was actually earlier than it was when I watched Question Time, because it's 8:30 and I've already done a whites wash, I've got dressed, I've sorted myself for the day, and I'm about to head on out to the Developer Southwest 7 conference. It's going to be great. This is going to be more similar to the High Integrity Software conference that I went to while I was still at university than it is to the like little meet-up things that I go to every now and again after work. Today is a full day thing from 9 till about 6. It's going to be long, it's going to be hard stuff, but there's going to be like 5 different talks, and you can pick, like in each time slot there's 5 different talks, and there's 5 time slots, and then there's like snacks and food in between and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be jolly good fun. Get a bit of socialising done, go learn some new stuff. I've got my laptop. I've got to go. I've got to drive down, unfortunately. I kind of wanted to longboard, but there's just no time. Right, and also it looks like it might rain later. In which case, should I take a coat? Probably not, because it's going to be inside all day anyway. Wallet, got my tickets, got my laptop, got my charger, got my glasses. I've got note, pen and paper. That should be all I need. Do I need a water bottle? Should I take a water bottle? No. That's probably a good idea though. The most reliable looking car park in the world, but it's £4.50 all day. There was, well, I did 2 paying display machines. I put my card in the first one twice, and it didn't work both times, so that one has secretly emptied my account without me knowing. All my details are cloned. I'm not going to have any money tomorrow, but otherwise £4.50 for the day, if you ignore that part. Now we just got to find the place. You may be wondering, like, why would you do this to yourself on a Saturday? And it does feel weird driving in. It feels like I'm just driving to work, because I more or less wore this yesterday. But it's good fun. It's good to get out there and learn and do something a little bit different with your weekend. Although, trust me, I just want to sit around and do work at home. Where the fuck do I need to go? Good job I gave myself some time, because I'm bloody miles away. It's just good to get out and about and do different things. I booked this ages ago. It just happens that Laura had something to do this weekend. She was just going to be at home until we went back to Nottingham, and they said, oh, we might be doing this thing this weekend. And then Laura wouldn't have gone if I wasn't going to this. So it's just a case of being able to get out and like spend time with like-minded people. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't actually talk to that many people at these things. I'm not actually that sociable. I'm not as confident as I come across. If I can, well, let's reword that. If I can get away with not talking to someone, then I'll not talk to them. If I have to talk to someone, then I do all right, you know? This is literally like lecture style. You go in, sit down. There's like brief bits in between where you can sit and talk and whatnot, but mainly there for the learning. And what I like about these kind of things is it gives me the opportunity to learn things that I otherwise won't. The best way to learn things is essentially be like told about them, and I can hear about new stuff that I need to be like aware of, and quite a couple of the talks will be useful for my own project. They'll be useful for things we're doing at work. Lots of fun stuff. Maybe looking at me and going, God, what's this guy doing? He's basically going to 5 lectures at the weekend when he's just done a full week's work, and I look at myself and think that as well. But it's not about that, is it? Very windy, I apologise. But yeah, the way I look at this, it's a bit like going to the Just Eat things that I normally go to, where they have like a little conference meeting thing and someone does a presentation. It's a bit like that, but 5 of them in one day. So you can't really shake a stick at that. It's going to be great. There's food. What more do you want? That poor bloke on the bike there just waited as I went across the zebra crossing. I'm like, mate, you're a bike, go. I normally get pissed off at bikes who do this, but since you waited, you offered, you can go. I've just come away after 3 of the talks. There's 5 talks all over the day, and I was going to go home so that I can get dinner out. I don't know whether it's in the fridge or it's in the freezer, so I need to go back and get it out. And I'm just trying to figure out whether or not I want to come back. I've got a ticket, so I can come and park back for free, but like, the afternoon talks aren't as good as the morning talks. There's none that like jump out as like, oh, I want to see that. It's not good, it's pretty good. And I probably will. I don't know. Let's figure it out. I completely forgot about was the fact that it's a Saturday today. So I was driving back. Fine, no traffic. Looking on the way in. Yeah, that's not going to take me 10 minutes anymore, is it? Christ. Good job I came back there because the mince is in the freezer. Whew. I couldn't remember if the date was good enough for us to leave it out or not. Right, should I go back? Part of me thinks I should go back because I've been there and like you don't do it very often. But also, like, I'm not that bothered about the rest of the talks. First one was on cross-site scripting, which is really interesting, and I learnt a bit in that. The next one was on Service Fabric, which is something we use at work. It's something that I'm looking to migrate my project over to. And the next one was on Azure Functions, which is a bit like AWS Functions, where essentially you don't even have like an application that you run, you just load a load of functions and then it runs it in the cloud for you. That was really interesting, and it's something that looks really powerful. I just don't know how I could use it, and I don't want to smash it in if it doesn't suit it, you know what I mean? Next, there's designing a UI for microservices, which is mildly interesting, or ASP.NET Core Razor Deep Dive, and then after... The problem is it finishes at like 5:30. And then the last session it's like, well, layering abstractions and spaghetti code or functional programming. I kind of want to stay here and do some work though, that's what I'm thinking now. Maybe if yesterday was a little bit more productive I'd be more willing to stay all day. But I'm thinking I might stay here now. Especially like how long it'll take me to drive back in and whatnot. It's a bit wasteful on petrol and shit as well. Otherwise though, that was jolly good fun. It was really like interesting, the talks that I went to. Obviously it kind of lives and dies on the topic of the talk, which is why I'm not going to go back. But as I walked through the door, someone that was like helping out, like a helper there, I used to work with him. He was on my team at when I was on my placement year. And I walked in, I was like, Dave? How you doing? And then we just, like in one of the gaps in between, he came over and like had a chat with me and stuff, telling me about what he was up to, and I told him what I was up to and stuff. And it was all good. We weren't like best chummy friends, but we were on the same team. So we had a good catch up there. He left halfway through the year, I think, just after or before Christmas. So. Yeah, and then otherwise, because I don't particularly talk to many people at these places, I feel really awkward just casually striking up a conversation with someone I don't know, which I know seems weird to people like you guys, because I come across as really like outgoing and friendly and whatnot. But if I don't have to talk to people, then I don't normally make a habit of it. If I essentially have to, or like my life revolves around creating a rapport with you, then I'll create a fucking rapport and we'll be best chums. No, you don't get a say in that. But like everyone in that place, it's unlikely I'll ever see again. See, I've decided I'm staying because I'm taking my shoes off. So let's get some work done, I reckon. Also means that I can like do some jobs around the house and stuff and be a little bit more friendly. It's a bit strange because like it's at like a sixth form centre, and it's like a run-down school. Like it's not a great school, and you're like sat on chairs, like school chairs, in a classroom with a dodgy projector. It's the strangest thing, but it's got like everything was like funded and sponsored by companies. Obviously, we didn't pay to go there, which is why it's not in a swaggy hotel. But yeah, it was quite a strange like vibe. It was quite the productive programming sesh, about 2.5 hours worth of programming. However, I think I'm gonna have to back off a little bit. I'm kind of going through the point of the part in the project where I'm defining the return values that are going to go back to the users and whatnot. And what I was trying to avoid was duplicating all of my objects, basically. The last one I kind of had like a summaries objects, which would be used to return as summaries of what was the thing that we were doing. The problem with that being that I basically had two types of objects. I'd have the test results that I had, and then I'd have the test results that I returned out. But I don't, in the same breath, I don't want to return the objects that I use internally to the users. So I've basically just come to the conclusion that the only real option now is to sit down and separate out all of my objects into contracts, so I can have internal contracts and external contracts, and then I can NuGet package them up and stuff, is what I'm thinking. I'll have some kind of public contracts which I can return. Which means I've got a lot of painful refactoring to do as I pull things out into different objects, and then I've got to duplicate all of my objects essentially, so that I can take out information that isn't relevant to the user, and keep in information that I want. I'm almost definitely going to use or introduce AutoMapper to make this smoother. I'm also having some issues with my Visual Studio Test Runner on Surface Book. It just seems to like crash on me. Like it just spins in the background and doesn't pick up any of the tests and doesn't run any of them. It's really rather annoying. So I've been using Visual Studio Code and it doesn't have half of the like auto refactoring stuff. But it's just a little bit nicer to work with because I have to keep dropping to stuff to test it and all that malarkey. Actually, to be honest with you, you could use Visual Studio Code quite comfortably to do, if you can live without momentarily before they add it in all of the automatic refactoring stuff. It's bloody awesome. In fact, it's even got some features that Visual Studio Community, full Visual Studio doesn't have. It has like the enterprise feature where you can like see references and stuff. That's great. See what things are actively calling this thing. That's really cool. Anyway, I think I'm going to have to take a break to cook some dinner, which we've got lamb orzo for the night. And I think what I'm going to do is tidy up my branch, check it in and roll it all back, basically. Happy days. So basically, I'll have my UIs consuming NuGet packages which store all of the DTOs that they will either receive or send me. And that's basically how I'll do it. And then I can fraction off maybe like core interfaces and stuff, core stuff that they each use into NuGet packages as well if I need to. But that's by the by. God damn it! Right, okay, food! You know what, I've just migrated the input object that my platform takes. It's called source config. And I just migrated it to a separate project so that in the future I can package that up and put it in a NuGet package and all that malarkey, and then I can basically have an API for my project. And it's just dawned on me, like, just how much fucking work there is left in this project. Like, just to get it so that I can put it in separate microservices and all that kind of stuff, that is going to be an absolutely monumental task. And, like, it's just going to be insane. And it's, like, just dawned on me just now. I've just figured it out. I've been like, it's going to be crazy. And partially, it's, like, really... yes, let's do it then. And then the other part of me is like, fuck, there's so much. So, yeah, I'm making a cup of tea anyway. It's 10:10. I'm just about to migrate over, basically move and refactor out the current stuff that I've just done to create the results object, and start to build that up properly and do it again. Do it again, but better. Can you guys remind me where it was that I put my mug? I remember picking it up and bringing it in here because I'd like sloshed it and I thought I was going to slosh it all over the place. What a fool. It's 1 o'clock, so I think I should go to bed. The test runner problem is like now migrated over to Atlas. Atlas was fine. Did I tweet this or did I tell you in the vlog? I was talking about using Visual Studio Code instead of Visual Studio because of the annoying thing, and I was using the I was using Visual Studio fine on Atlas, and then just all of a sudden it started happening again, where the test runner just kind of locks up, which is quite strange, and I don't know why it's happening, but I figured out how to do live unit testing from the command line. I'm really impressed about how much Microsoft are supporting the .NET Core command line, to the point where a feature that comes in Visual Studio Enterprise, live unit testing, isn't in Visual Studio Community, but it is in the command line still, so you can still use it. That's pretty fucking cool. So basically it sits there running the tests and it waits for you to make changes to the tests and then it reboots them all again. Obviously only recompiling all the parts of the program that it needs, so it does it quite quickly. It's ever so cool. And yeah, Visual Studio Community doesn't do that kind of stuff. Otherwise though, it's 1 o'clock. I could stay a little bit longer, but I feel like I should probably go to bed. My plan is to wake up early. I'm going to do all my jobs in the morning and then migrate over to Atlas and do more workity work. Fun, fun, fun. Actually made up for the lack of productivity yesterday, and I want to really hammer home the productivity before Laura comes home tomorrow. She gets back tomorrow. I'm missing her quite a bit now. I've discovered that I'm absolutely the worst at getting meat out of the freezer to defrost before I want to eat it. Turns out Laura's the one that does that, and I've now come fully dependent on her. Even so, just woke up, gonna clean out Graham, gonna watch Andrew Ma, then I'm gonna get dressed, carry on programming. Yeah, buddy. Graham's done. Sausage sandwich was lovely. Yesterday, one of the sponsors at the place had these balls, and I've now discovered that nothing in our flat is flat. Like, I just want to use it in here on my desk, but it just fucking rolls around. It's so irritating. Put it there and it's like... That was anticlimactic, wasn't it? There's so many jobs to do on a Sunday, and like normally I don't get much work done because like Laura makes you do all the jobs all the time, and then you've got to do like this, then she wanted to do something in the middle of the day, and now I'm like, there are so many jobs I need to do. I need to figure out how to like fit it all in, and I keep going, oh, I'll do that after lunch. I need to do that after lunch. So basically, at lunchtime, we're going to have to stop and do a load of work. So I'm going to try and get an hour and a half done now. It's about midday, so then we're going to have lunch, rather later lunch, because Laura's going to get back late. 1:30, it's time for some lunch. I'm loving live unit testing. That's pretty cool. Like, by the time I write a couple of tests, you have to be a little bit kind on pressing Control Save, because as soon as you save, it boots up a run. And then like the build can fail and all that kind of stuff. Obviously it doesn't get in the way because it's just running in the command line. So I try and like go, right, Control Save, run the test. And I'm using like Control Save as a trigger to run tests now. And I press save, tab over to the thing that I'm testing, write the line of code that fixes it, look over to the command line. The command line's just finished running the tests, I press save again, and then bam, we're in. That's what I want to see. I want to see a test fail, then see a test pass. And sometimes if I continue to press save in the main file, then it will kill that one and then rebuild it, in which case I don't have a failing test properly. But yeah, like, it's so quick. I can run all of my unit tests in a second, literally a second, well, 1.2 seconds. So maybe literally 1.3 seconds, I don't know. Yeah, it's doing pretty good. I've also almost reached 1,000 unit tests again. I hit 1,000 unit tests a while ago when I was doing my event-driven stuff, and I backed out a load of code in order to do that. But yeah, I'm just still populating the results as they go back out to the user, and like testing the builder of that object and all of the objects that are getting returned and all that kind of stuff. So it's jolly good fun, and yeah, I'm on 997. Anyway. Lunchtime, I need to do a clothes wash, I need to put the washing away, I need to do the washing up. Is there anything else I need to do? Just trying to hit everything out in one go. The ironing is about to be done, washing up's done, I've had my lunch. The washing is on its final spin, and I've put away the washing from last week. I'm going to quickly do some ironing while watching the first bit of Doctor Who, and then I'm going to watch the final bit of Doctor Who as I put up the rest of the clothes in there. I fucking hate washing stuff. The clothes is the worst part of... Oh man. I think I've had myself a cup of tea and then I can go and carry on with my work. But yeah, now it should be a case of like, Laura comes home, we have dinner, and then we just chill out and watch TV, because there's no more jobs to do, apart from things that, like, I've even done my sandwiches for tomorrow. Apart from things like, get your bag ready, or whatever. But I don't need to do it. I just need to do a little bit, but... Work done. I've done the compilation results, so I'm just going to do the test results, which is the bigger, meatier one, but I've built up the framework to do it. I have this nice, like, summarizable results object, which dynamically summarises the results when you pass it a load of different things, which is nice. I'm going to go pick up the bay, though. Let's bounce. Right, guys, having a lovely day up there. What a lovely sunny day for that. I don't know what the hell's going on here, but this used to be a car park, and now it's just like, I don't know if I'm supposed to park here or what, I don't know. But these seagulls are having a right fight for this leftover McDonald's, it's great. This guy wants it. Oh, it's a pret, apparently. Bay is back. She's doing what she does best, which is falling asleep in front of the TV and not listening to me telling her to go to bed. I'm going to go to bed as well, however. This video is also way too long, so I'm going to end it here. Yeah, picked up Laura, came back to the trek, came back home, had some dinner, and we just caught up on Gogglebox, and now I'm watching a rerun of Peston, or whatever it is, the competitor to Andrew Moore. Try not to get too hooked because I actually do want to go to bed and start off the week on an early night that's nice and like refreshing sleep, you know? Right. Bye-bye. Bedtime. Bye-bye. Bedtime? Yeah? Oops.